Okay. That's it. Okay, so this today's session is part of a series that I've been running around cultivating contentment. So it's basically been a deep dive into the science of satisfaction, and we're looking at exploring building new neural pathways and uncovering some simple home practices to savour the richness of our existing lives. And one of the inspirations behind this was my obsession with designer shoes and buying secondhand designer shoes, and that you know they're never quite enough. So that is the inspiration for that picture. And I should say, my name's Josephine Dolan-Duford, and I'm an occupational therapist. Occupational therapy is a doing therapy. It's activity based, and mindfulness based approaches and compassion focused therapy are a major part of my work, which inspires I draw on these techniques within these meditation sessions. So we're combining scientific approaches and weaving these into the home practices to build neural pathways basically within the brain. So this prefrontal cortex that we have here is mainly in charge of us. What we're doing within this session is dropping out of this little space here and into the space of our bodies, which we ignore for the most part of the day unless they let us down. So we're learning to kind of hone our attention. And within this series, we've been working on the baseline of looking at our baseline level of contentment, rather than constantly seeking or avoiding sensations, finding new sources of happiness and avoiding unhappiness. So the designer shoes, we bring our attention to appreciating the simple joys of everyday life, finding Heiter within everyday, Heiter being the German word for joy. Through this, we establish some baselines and turn up the volume on the ordinary that are actually quite extraordinary, falling awake to our experiences instead of constantly needing to escape from ourselves. And the reality is that our brain is not wired for contentment or satisfaction at any point, that you are completely normal and human for being unsatisfied. And that's important to recognize, because it's not something to beat yourself up about, it's something to notice. Our ancestors worked very hard for us to have the comforts that we have, as we live in, despite what's being thrown in our faces all of the time via the news and via social media. We are living in the safest, most democratic and most well-educated era in history, and according to research, we've never been more miserable. So it's not we're not wired for satisfaction, we're wired for survival. Now, what we've been exploring around this is there's four elements, there's four psychological elements associated with satisfaction, okay? And if we train and work on these, we can increase our overall feelings of satisfaction within the lives that we have right now, even with all the unsatisfactory nature of things. If we can increase our ability to be bored, so our tolerance to being bored, that increases levels of contentment and satisfaction. We do a lot to evade it. There's negativity bias. So this is where negative events are more present and demand more attention from us than neutral or positive ones. So we train ourselves to deliberately focus on positive experiences to dampen the physiological response to a negative experience. Rumination. Intelligent use of rumination. It is a useful tool. If we made mistakes and didn't ruminate, we would be likely to be on the psychopathy, be psychopaths basically. So rumination is normal and human. It's when it gets in the way of our sleep and our daily lives that it's a problem. And then there's hedonic adaptation. So this is where we sensation seek to get rid of negative experiences. So for example, buying new shoes to feel a bit better about ourselves. So we train ourselves to experience renewed joy around what we already have, about experiences that we're having now. So rather than thinking about the next thing to buy or the next holiday to go on, we recycle what we've already experienced and take pleasure from it again. So those are the four areas that we're exploring within the meditation practices. And today we're going to be looking specifically around the rumination and the negativity bias of that. So we're going to be training those neural pathways. And we are exploring relationships. They are a journey of growth, understanding, and mutual compassion. They require constant communication, empathy, and compromise between individuals with unique perspectives, needs, and expectations. Balancing these differences while maintaining mutual respect and love can and is very difficult, but it's also what makes relationships rewarding and transformative. And on the flip side, our relationships also serve as a powerful mirror to ourselves and offer insights into our inner world and help us to understand ourselves better. They reveal our strengths and areas for growth and can make a vital part of our personal development. So that's what we're going to explore today. So we're going to drop into some of our relationships. So this will be friendships, family, neutral experiences. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to be playful. Be careful with who you pick. It's not don't need to open Pandora's box here, okay? So we're going to drop into the body. We're going to find an anchor, and then we're going to step into the prefrontal cortex, come up with some people to reflect on, and then drop back into the body. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the recording quickly, just ask if there's any questions. Okay, so just a reminder, be careful, be kind to yourself. And I'm going to switch my microphone to voice isolation once I've finished with the bell. So taking a moment to settle and arrive. We begin and end with a bell, and there'll be a reading at the end. A deliberate, specific intention of having taken your seat. Bringing your awareness to the points of contact that you're making with the earth. So maybe your feet on the floor, your bottom on the seat. As best you can, having a self-supporting spine in a dignified and graceful posture. We have a tendency to slump. So every now and again, an invitation to check in with your posture. And just a reminder that there's no right or wrong way of doing these practices, that we're being guided in a very specific and deliberate way, using mindfulness-based approaches and some compassion-focused therapy techniques. They're a guidance. It's important that you listen and pay attention to your body's needs. So if you need to move, weaving those movements into the practice, so they don't need to be a part of it, separate. Not something to feel bad about. But noticing if you judge yourself. So just scanning around your body and letting go of any tension or tightening that you may have noticed. So hot spots being the forehead, the shoulders, the jaw. You may have your own hot spots. And now an invitation to narrow your awareness to your breath. And to begin with, the invitation is to extend your out breath. So that could be, for example, breathing in for 4 and breathing out to the count of 5 or 6 or 7. And as best you can, breathing through the nose. When we extend our out breath, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest process within the body. So it naturally soothes us. And just a few more breaths with that extended out breath. And then an invitation to return your breath to its natural rhythm, relaxed and comfortable and easy. And then expanding your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. So having a sense of you breathing into the space of your body. And I just want to invite you to just take a moment to find an anchor for today's practice. So when your mind has wandered off, which it will do, that you can return your awareness here. Or perhaps if there are parts of the practice that feel uncomfortable, then you can bring your present moment awareness here. So it could be a point within the breath, it could be a neutral part of the body. So, I don't know, the big toe, your left eyebrow, just when you've wandered off or feel like you need a bit of a sanctuary, that you can bring your awareness here and you can drop into the physical event and felt sensations of this area of your body. So just being playful and finding your anchor. It's like something that you're tethered to. And then when you found that, bringing your awareness back to your breath in your body. And I just want you to take an internal weather report or barometer. How are you today? Specific feeling may come to mind. You might be tired, hungry, bored, anxious, just whatever's here. Picking one, there might be lots. And then an invitation to drop into the body and notice what exactly those sensations are, because this is information that's sent from the brain into the body. It tells the body something. Can you notice anything? Maybe around the heart area or the gut area. How are you? What is that? Where is it? Does it have a shape, a colour, a texture, a movement? And then returning your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. What can you notice of the air as it travels up your nostrils? It's pulled down the back of your throat into your lungs. What movements are here? And we're just going to step briefly back into our prefrontal cortexes, and I want you to bring into your mind's eye a close friend. It could be somebody who you don't see very often, but when you're in their company, it's really easy. And I'm sure you have lots to choose from. Just picking one person, a friend, sort of like you're inviting them into this space with you. You could perhaps picture them sitting next to you. And holding this person in your mind's eye, an invitation to drop into the body, what you notice, what it is to hold this friend, this easy friendship in your mind's eye. What, if anything, can you notice in the body? Warmth, coolness, lightness, heaviness. And then an invitation to check in with the rest of the body and the less vivid parts, your feet, your legs, your back, your head, face, your arms, and then your chest and belly. This tends to be where we most feel things. But exploring, checking in with yourself, each nook and cranny, like kind of shining a torch beam around your body. What's your felt and physical experience of holding this easy, comfortable friendship, this person that you love, loves you back? Just noticing, not changing anything, there's nothing to fix. Being with yourself as you are, noticing what it is to be in your body with childlike interest and curiosity. What is it to be you? And then letting go of holding this person in your mind's eye and narrowing your awareness back to the breath. Noticing the sensations as you breathe in and you breathe out. Maybe that the air is cool or warm as it leaves the body. Perhaps observing how your body knows exactly what to do. Perhaps noticing the rise and fall of your shoulders and your chest and the ribs to the back as you breathe in and you breathe out. This ordinary yet extraordinary life-giving breath goes fairly unnoticed until we get a cough or a cold or we smell something bad. We're taking the time to notice as it is your breath. And then an invitation to expand your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. And now an invitation to bring into your mind's eye somebody fairly neutral to you. So it could be somebody who works in a local shop, or you see on your walks. It could be somebody at the garage, somebody at the school, at work. You might not know their name, you don't know their story. If you didn't see them again, you might wonder where they were, but you might not get to know the details. So most of the people that we meet within our days are fairly neutral. With somebody that you follow online, just picking one person and inviting them into your space. Might be sitting next to you or opposite you or in the corner of the room. And this is more subtle, the response here. But what can you notice, if anything, of holding this person in your mind's eye? Again, you can scan around the body and check in. This fairly neutral person to you. Maybe you can't notice anything. What is that nothingness? Where is it? Is it all over, or is it just in your feet, your legs, your back, your arms, your head, your chest, your belly? Shining the spotlight of your awareness around this fairly neutral person, this fairly neutral experience. So we widen and narrow the lens of our attention and explore what it is to be us and all our humanness. This is where the mind might wander and get a bit bored. It's not very exciting. If you notice that you've wandered off, an invitation to congratulate yourself for noticing and then bringing yourself back to the breath in the body, that anchor, and your felt and direct experience of holding this neutral person in your mind's eye. Most of our lives are made up of neutral moments. What is it to be holding this neutral person in your mind's eye? And then narrowing your awareness back to your breath, following the flow of your breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. Textures, shapes, colours, movements within the body as you breathe in and you breathe out. An invitation to check in with your posture, let go of any tension or tightening that might have crept in, elongate that spine. Breathing in and breathing out. Now an invitation to bring somebody into your mind's eye, perhaps somebody within your family that you find challenging. Could be a friend that you're finding challenging. Not too juicy, not too challenging. So somebody that you perhaps find difficult, but you still have to be around. Might be an old friend that you bump into, or you see online. Could be an aunt. Whoever, just picking somebody, being careful though. And then an invitation to drop into the felt sense of holding this person in our mind's eye. They might be sat next to you. You might put them in the corner of the room. Maybe they're outside the door. Be playful, but holding this person in your mind's eye and dropping into the felt sensations within your body. So what does your body experience of this mental event? Perhaps noticing if any tension or tightening's crept in, the jaw clenched, the forehead furrowed, shoulders up by the ears, letting go of any tension or tightening if you notice it. Being with your experience, being with your body. That these mental events are physical experiences for the body. Being tender and compassionate towards yourself. It's not easy. And an invitation to check in with the quieter spots of the body. Your feet, your legs, the back, your arms, your hands, your scalp, your face, throat, and the chest and the belly. Breathing in, breathing out, holding space for yourself with this challenging person. And then just as we brought our attention to them, we're going to move away and bring our awareness back to the breath. So breathing in and breathing out. Checking in with your posture. Extending that out breath if that soothes you, if that's helpful. As best you can, breathing through the nose and observing the sensations and textures, what it is to be you in your body. There's nothing to fix. Being with our experiences as they are in this very specific and deliberate way. We can go back to our old habits and tendencies after the practice, but for now, we're anchoring in the breath and the body and exploring the felt and physical sensations of what it is to be us. And now an invitation to bring into your mind's eye a past friendship. Perhaps somebody that you fell out with or you regret losing contact with. There might be some challenge or pain associated with this. So be careful with who you pick, but holding this person in your mind's eye. And placing them somewhere within your room or outside of the space. And then dropping into the felt sensation of having brought this person into our mind's eye and what the body experiences. So what information is here? You can scan around. You could even colour yourself in, picturing textures and colours and intensity, movements, temperatures, the shapes. What's happening in your legs, your back, your arms, your head, your face, your chest and belly. And then just as we brought our attention to this person, we're going to move it away and narrow our awareness to our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Checking in with our posture, letting go of any tension or tightening that may have crept in. And now we're going to bring ourselves into our mind's eye. Possibly the person we find the most challenging, that we're the most hard on. You who are a combination of your genes, your experiences, your environments, your culture, your country. What is it to hold yourself in your mind's eye with kindness and compassion and tenderness? All these stories housed here in this body. What can you notice of your body right now, stepping into the space from the prefrontal cortex and checking in with your feet and your legs and your back and your arms and your chest and your belly? All those organs beneath your skin work away with very little direct input from you. Your beating heart, your lungs breathing in and out. You're a miracle. What can you notice? Shapes, colours, textures, movements. And an invitation to place a hand on your heart and one on your belly. You can say these words internally, or you can repeat them out loud, or you might have your own words. You're welcome to use them. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be content. And may I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be content. And may I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be content. And may I be kind to myself and to others. And just resting for a few moments in the felt sensation of having said those words. And then an invitation to invite that person who you're no longer friends with, that family member, that challenging friend that you have to see, bringing them into that neutral person. And that friend. So almost like maybe you're sitting in a circle, or you're all in a line with your hand on your heart and your hand Other hand on your belly, or visualizing that movement if that's not within your range today. Let's say out loud or to ourselves, may you all be well. May you all live with ease, and may you be content, and may you be kind to yourselves and to others. May you be well. May you live with ease. May you be content, and may you be kind to yourselves and to others. May you be well. May you live with ease. May you be content, and may you be kind to yourselves and to others. And now an invitation to expand your awareness to the group. So those practicing live and those practicing in their own time, and all those people they've got with them. So as a group, may we all be well. May we live with ease. May we be content. And may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. May we all be well. May we all live with ease. May we be content, and may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. And then an invitation to expand that awareness to include our homes, our villages, our countries, our continents, the world, the universe, going as far as you wish. May we all be well. May we live with ease. May we be content, and may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. And just resting in the felt sensation of having said those words, of having sat in this practice. I'm going to close with a reading from Rainer Maria Rilke. We have no reason to harbour any mistrust against the world, for it is not against us. If it has terrors, they are our terrors. If it has abysses, these abysses belong to us. If there are dangers, we must try to love them, and only if we could arrange our lives in accordance with the principle that tells us that we must always trust in the difficult, then what now appears to us to be alien will become our most intimate and trusted experience. How could we forget those ancient myths that stand at the beginning of all races, the myths about dragons that at the last moment are transformed into princesses? Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are only princesses waiting for us to act just once with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. So you must not be frightened if a sadness rises before you larger than any you've ever seen, if an anxiety like light and cloud shadows moves over your hands and everything that you do. You must realise that something has happened to you. Life has not forgotten you, that it holds you in its hands and will not let you fall. Why do you want to shut out your life any easiness, any miseries or any depressions? For after all, you do not know what work these conditions are doing inside you. So moving and stretching in whatever way you likely ignored within that practice. And we're going to move into taking tea together. So I have a cup of tea here for you. And in learning to be satisfied, I'm not buying new tea at the moment. I'm appreciating what I have. So I've got jasmine tea that I've had for about 5 years. I'm going to prepare for us. So the invitation here is to drop into the present moment awareness of taking tea. The textures, the colours, the sensations and movements. That these simple activities of daily living can be our meditations. So I'm going to press pause. For those of you practicing in your own time, the invitation is to sit and reflect about your direct experience of the practice. You could maybe write it down, or you could write me an email. Let me know how you got on, what you noticed, what was interesting, what was surprising, what was unpleasant. Your felt and direct experience. Okay, so we've had a look at relationships and what it is physically in our body to notice. So on the left is some of the practices that we've been doing already. So you'll have all of these slides, so don't worry. So boredom, setting a timer and doing nothing for 1 to 5 minutes. I mean, that's really doing nothing, not even having a cup of tea, just being bored. This builds up your boredom tolerance. That's one thing you can do to build up your boredom tolerance, and turn down the volume on sort of sensation seeking behaviors. The negativity bias, so this is when a negative experience happens, we counterbalance that with 3 positive experiences. You can increase that 4, 5, 6, 7 up to you, but studies show that three is enough in terms of to release some hormones that counterbalance the hormones that release via negativity bias. Hedonic adaptation, so this is doing an experience on autopilot that you with present moment awareness. So this is so for example, having a cup of tea, you say, I'm really grateful for this tea that somebody's made for me, and this cup that even though it's chipped, it's, you know, I really love it. So we're kind of doing a gratitude practice of an activity that's normally on autopilot. It could be like doing up your shoelaces and just dropping into being grateful for all of the components of your shoe, your laces, or where they've taken you. And then rumination, we did a 3-part breathing space around looking specifically around moments of rumination. So dropping into the space of the body, narrowing into the breath and breathing out again. We'll close with that practice. So, but that was specifically when you notice that you're ruminating about something, and that kind of ties in with this week's home practice. So the invitation is to undertake a regular 10-minute mindfulness meditation of your choice. They'll be linked within the sheets. So there's a 10-minute breath, there's a 10-minute body, and there's a 10-minute movement practice. So that's the bread and butter of this work. And then I want you to, through the day, practice dropping into the body around different people. So as we did within the meditation, leaving the story behind and dropping into the felt sensations within the body. So I'm saying 2 people, a stranger and then someone you love, and just being interested of what you notice, the feet, the legs, the back, the arms, the head, and then the body. It's a lot easier to feel sensations around the heart and the stomach, so you may want to start with that because that's easier, and then check in with the quieter bits of the body. Just being interested in you and what it is to be you and what information's here. When we do that, our bodies often tell us that we need to eat something, we need to drink less coffee, we're tired, we haven't stretched, we're slumping, we're tense. So in those moments we get some information about our body and how we can take care of ourselves and our health and our well-being, which impacts on everybody as well as ourselves. And if you want to, you can play around with someone you find challenging. Noticing the sensations. It's not about fixing, it's not about changing anything, it's simply about noticing. Now, of course, if anything does come up around those things, you are welcome to get in touch, let me know. That it's not easy work, so being particularly careful around challenging people. So someone you love and a stranger. The neutral one's quite interesting, as we've discussed. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to close with this 3-part breathing space. So this can take 30 seconds. You can do this anywhere, and the invitation is to do this at breakfast, lunch and dinner, so taking mindful short breaks. So an invitation to drop into the space of the body, check in with your posture, elongate your spine, notice the points of contact that you're making with the earth. So where does that pressure begin and end? And then narrowing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And if it's helpful, extending that out breath so it's longer than the in breath. And then extending your awareness from the breath to include all of your body, you breathing here, having a sense of where you begin and end. Where is the space around you no longer you? Is it at the skin? Is it the warm glow around you? And as best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Josephine.
Take care. Have a great week, everybody.
You too. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.